out. But from up top, Recifu finding one great connection with jump, pulls out a glue wall to block himself off for an important pickup onto Remind. He doesn't have the Thiva. A tad bit slow there. Thankfully, no grenades fighting the players of Dragon on the roof.
There is a chance that EVOS messes this up, and in fact, even EVOS has to deal with the remnants of Hot Shot. As Cougar rejoins the rest of his team in that ground floor circle, will move to the western side of this compound a little bit. A lot more building to work with. Great nice action in the back line. Ray still surviving, but now has to dip into the shadows. Hot Shot out in 4th place, and another top 4 finish for the Pakistanis.
Yeah, but that's good enough for Pakistan, man. I mean, getting in towards the top 4 after struggling a tad bit there. Good on them. We want to see more, but can Dragons do the impossible? Can they wrap up a solid booyah here at Alpine? Core Memory, they've got the numbers. EVOS, on the other hand, just need to play the game of survival. Ray circling on towards Dragons. This might just be a potential distraction that Dragons go for, and unfortunately, Core Memory can take advantage of this.
This could also be slowly shaping up into one of those unexpected but very welcome storylines, the underdogs of this competition, Dragon Esports versus the underdogs of Thailand. Core Memory, one of their better performers, I would say one of their best performers so far in the group stage. Dragon are down 1 man, and that is something that Core Memory can work with. But as the siren sounds for the last time, Core Memory takes a shot in the back. Remind has all of them confirmed. Let's see if Dragon can close this out.
You hear those drums of liberation in the background, gearing us up for a solid booyah. Who takes it? Thailand, or are we gonna see Emir walk away with a solid booyah? Ray's in trouble. The players surround him at 590. He's hanging on for his dear life and will tag the blue. Emir doesn't care. Seamox finds him, but that also sacrifices a little bit of their health. And I did not expect a revive to come out of nowhere. But now Cougar and squad wrapping on in, waiting for the circle to drag Dragons towards themselves.
This revive most likely would just be a distraction at most. Seafolk taking plenty of damage from Core Memory. But at least for Dragon Esports, there is an X factor. Don finds Yasir, and that is the guy that just got brought back. They get vision. Remind can see it, but cannot fire. Down to a 3v4. Asimov now big one! What a shot! But Zenzi instantly finds the trade, and Remind left all alone, and he cannot do it. Core Memory locks it in. First booyah for the team.
Core Memory with the solid plays. But props to Dragon Esports, man. Out of nowhere, the underdogs getting it done. This was one of the hardest underdog circles we've seen so far.
We almost were about to witness a Group C takeover for day number 2, but thank goodness Vitality stepped up in the previous game, and then Core Memory. But it still does not take away the fact that Group C came in swinging. Dragons Esports, good round 1. Game 2 and Game 3, not the best, but Game 4 was another opportunity to show them that the Middle Eastern region are constantly evolving.
And Core Memory so close to that #1 spot already, putting in enough work, solid number of points as well. I believe 12 eliminations they walked away with in that matchup towards the very end. And that's the kind of performance you want to be chugging out in these lobbies. You don't need to aim for the skies all the time. You just want to have more than 10 eliminations, get to that final circle, and you're pretty much good enough to get your squad into point rush. That was a valiant effort turned into a solid booyah.
And at the end of the day, it depends on the perspective of the players. How do you want to finish the knockout stage? Do you want to finish in the lead and make a statement piece right off the bat? Or do you just want to do the bare minimum, make it through to point rush, and then start showing all your cards? And I think in this case, teams like Hotshot and Dragon Esports are looking at the latter. But teams like BRU, Core Memory, they're looking to instantly tell the world that they are here to take the trophy away. And if you don't step up, you will not stand a chance.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, this was a shocker for everyone, no doubt whatsoever. But Lost kind of losing that opportunity a tad bit late. But of course, we've got Yunso out there with an interview set up for us. Let's see exactly who she's got with her.
Alright then, thank you AJ and Husky, and here's our little interview of our Cougar here. สวัสดีค่ะ Cougar โอเคค่ะเป็นยังไงบ้างอะ
อะไรนะครับ
เป็นยังไงบ้าง
ก็
เป็นยังไงบ้างครับ
ดีใจครับที่เปิดบูย่าแรกได้ก็โฟกัสเข้ารอบชิงครับ
So we are pretty happy and excited that we finally be able to do to get the first booyah And from now on, we're gonna focusing on getting to the championship.
Oh, that's really good to hear. So our second questions. Okay, Cougar, so how do you feel about when your team we are having a change of a player named Ston? How do you feel about him? Does it make a huge difference in our game?
ก็ในทีมมีเปลี่ยนเพลเยอร์มา1คนใช่ไหมฮะคิดว่าผู้เล่นที่เข้ามาใหม่เนี่ยฮะมีผลต่อรูปแบบการเล่นหรือว่ามีผลต่อผลลัพธ์ในการเล่นแต่ละรอบไหมครับ
มีครับก็เป็นอินเกมครับพี่ดนก็มีผลเยอะมากเลยครับคอยสั่งพวกผม
Yep actually there's quite a huge effect from the new player that just joined our team he's like kind of like our new IGL and like command keep giving us the order like what do we have to do if there is an urgent situation happen during the games
That's really good to hear because I also find that there's a different thing about Korean that is done and they make a huge difference. So good luck in your next game, Cougar. Fighting, Susuna. And now let's throw to our break. But first, we will give you a final blow. Triple kill. Triple kill. Triple kill. Quadruple. Double kill. Triple kill. Everybody, it's Yunsu. Hello everybody, all of my survivors in Free Fire. As you guys know, in Boulevard we have so many fun activities, having good foods to enjoy, all of the best thing in this life in esports waiting for all of you. But today, I'm right here at this very futuristic place, beautiful place. How do I call it? Aramco Sim Arena. Right next to me is a simulator racing gaming. I really want to try it, but I'm wearing a dress, but who cares anyway, right? So I'm gonna first try my... Alright, headphone please. Oh. Alright, gonna start my game now.
Nice, thank you. Kalma.
7 orang. Woi, kita kanan. Kiri. 100. Ini gas yang dekat. Sekarat banget. Supernya sekarat. Kenok super. Nah. Ini satu orang mau super. Gas aja. Nah, satu lagi. Woi, kanan boys. Boy, let's go boy. Ada guys. Aman. Ingat suntik. Iya, santai. Ingat guys. Gua enggak ada kepal. Kanan. Kiri satu. Iya. Kanonin enggak sih? Hujan dulu, santai. Gua ada kepal gua. Ada pais. Sekarang. Gas. Limiter dia. Satu lagi guys. Limiter dia aja. Bisa pegang gua aja. Dah, mati bisa pegang. Nah, bisa coba pegang. Bisa dua-duanya bisa. Lu pegang aja. Iya, lu pegang. Baru cucuin guys. Sini. Oh, kita bakar kepala. Ayo, barang. Sini lihat gua. Bukan barang, ingat. Barang, let's go. Satu hit.
Clear.
Kalian lagi pada ngapain sih?
Memory have created their first memory here at EWC, grabbing their first booyah on Alpine of all maps, and of course they're going to be feeling fantastic about that booyah. Back to the panel, our panelists, pretty surprised actually, because it was a pretty tense showdown during that final circle. We had three teams, right? We had EVOS with their lone player, we had Core Memory, who are basically the raid bosses, and then we had Dragons. I think a lot of people were cheering for Dragons to win that, but Core Memory, ultimately, they just played better.
Yeah, and Core Memory, they are really good at fights. I mean, they are mechanically good, but I think they weren't just not that adapted. I don't know. I don't feel that, because yesterday they played, I mean, it wasn't like a very good game, but now they can grab like the Booyah, which is really cool. But I think it's good to add about Buriram, which is a team that we usually see like getting Booyahs and eliminations, and right now, I don't know, I feel that they are kind of missed it. I don't know what's going on, but they kind of disappeared after, I don't know, the second match maybe?
Yeah, I do agree. It seems like Buriram United is slowing down. But speaking of disappearance, like from the start of that match of Alpine, we had three teams who were in the top. R7 lost as well as Fluxo, but they disappeared a little bit too early. So
maybe the map was a bit too cold, you know?
Yeah, this was kind of sad. I think it was something personal with us, with our Brazilian teams, and I'm pretty sad too for like Alpha 34, because they're not clocking. They can play. I don't know what's going on, and I think in this situation they won't pass to the point rush, so it's pretty sad. But we still have like Loss and Fluxo, and I think this was just an untypically match, and they can be like more stronger right now to the next one.
Well, we do still have a couple opportunities left. We've played 4 games today, meaning we've still got 2 more to go. And Nexterra is our next map. Now, Raja, typically, in a typical day, how would you rate the Brazilian teams on Nexterra? Is this a map that the region is quite comfortable playing?
Fluxo is really good at Nexterra. It's like one of the best maps for them to play. So I'm feeling really confident about it. And I think Los can do a great job, because they are doing a great job in the whole broadcast today. In my opinion, it's one of the best teams for today. Like, they are being really consistent, and I mean, they have a really good synergy, and they have like they have a Rigby, which is the top 3 rusher in Brazil, and that's so important because we need that, and we know how Asian teams are good, so we need someone that, I mean, bring confidence to the team, and I think Rigby can do that job really well.
Statsman Neptune, pull up the stats of Fluxo. What are we expecting for them from Neptune? From Nexterra.
For Nexterra, currently out of the 6 teams that have played here from their group, so they are tied with Core Memory in this specific map from yesterday. But I guess with the motivation or momentum that Core Memory has, they can easily overshadow Fluxo at this point, unless they really come for revenge. Like being taken out a little bit early, that's something that the Brazilians really want to get away from.
And maybe they can speed things up a little bit, right? We're down to our last 2 games, and I think if you realize what position you are in on the leaderboard, you kind of want to make these last 2 rounds count, so you feel comfortable knowing that, okay, we are not at risk of dipping below top 12, because folks, top 12 is the first goal here for the knockout stage. If you don't make top 12, you're out of the competition.
Yeah, and I have something to add about Fluxo. Yesterday they played with like 3 rushers, 3 rush players, and today probably they will do the same, because the landing drop where they usually got in Nexterra, it's like a place where like Asians likes to play too. So I don't know how to explain for you guys, but I think they will play Nexterra with like 3 players, 3 rush players, and they will put procs to join into this match.
Yeah, that does make sense because if they played already, process already introduced yesterday. So I guess with the rush build that Fluxo has, they can easily start it off on that hot drop and then play it slow once again. So compared to what we seen yesterday, first two match always slow for Fluxo. So like hyping it up, like moving a little bit faster, and well, let's admit it. Last two games, it's clutch time.
Last two games is clutch time, but is it clutch time for any other teams? Because we kind of did focus on Fluxo here. Any Asian teams that are really going to want to play well on Nextera here?
Yeah, I mean, for Southeast Asia, I think there's a lot more. Team Vitality grabbed a Booyah from yesterday in this map, so I guess they can do a repeat, but it's still a tough call. Group C has been introduced and we've seen a lot of hot teams.
I'm kind of missing Vitality, but I know that they played good. I think I can't remember the number of the match, but I mean I think they went so much better yesterday. I don't know why I feel that, but maybe it's because this group is, Group C, it's like stronger, so maybe they are not adapted to it, you know?
That, and maybe the fact that Group C probably studied Group B, right? I think this was something that we talked about earlier in the broadcast. Being Group B, you had that disadvantage of, we can research this team before we play them tomorrow. So Group C having that slight advantage makes it a little bit difficult. We are getting ready for our next matchup, folks. But before that, though, we actually have our SMB head-to-head. So let's head on over to the stage and see what the head-to-head is all about.
What's up, everybody? The SMB head-to-head. Hey, whoa. No,
Sorry about that.
You don't do that. You don't do that here. We do not get these smudges because these teams are working far too hard. And maybe this time around they can change it up here. My name's Getting Cute. This is Tash Bunny. We're here at the stage. Tash Bunny, I heard that you've got a team that you're interested in for this head-to-head.
Oh, yes. Ever since Raja was completely glazing them on the desk, Lost has completely stolen my heart. They are a team that's really surprised me today with not only just those insane booyahs, those insane frags, but also they have the General.
The General, of course. He's looking to lead this team to the next generation of Free Fire. But for me, I'm a little more interested in a team who has a fan base from Vitality, a team and all their members. Give it up in no prize. Give me some noise. They're here to show that they are the best. An Indonesian team picked up by a great organization, and now it's the second half of the day. We saw map 1, we saw map 2, but it's time to go on over to map number 5. We'll throw it over to our casters.
Thank you very much to Gideon, Tash, and the rest of the panel, Raja, Neptune, Dana Lee. It's Husky and Natasha AJ back once more. When we talk about Vitality, the definition is the endurance to finish a run. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but for Vitality, it's the final 2 laps for the knockout stage run. Let's hop into Nextera for round number 5.
And the marathon for Vitality has been pretty decent so far. They've got a 30% top 3 rate, and that's pretty fair if you want to make sure that you're in the top 12, if you're not just aiming for the number 1 spot. Overall, they've got the 3rd spot pretty much guaranteed to make it through to Point Rush. But of course, another Indonesian squad is Onyx. They haven't been showing up so far. They are the champions of Southeast Asia, one of the first to make this miracle of Champion Rush look so effective out there. We want to see more from them.
So far, it has been a nightmare relived by Onyx. Last year, they came into EWC, their debut, and they completely dropped the ball. But right now, still early to say, I'm going to defend these boys a little bit. It's their day 1. We'll see what they can bring us, right? They dropped at Twin Bridge and Mona Ruins, no contention. I'm surprised that Fluxo decided to shift away from Intellect Center because 2 years ago, it was Intellect Center that got 3 out of the 4 players a FFWS Global Championship in 2023.
And an early shoot down here by the players of EVOS. Hacks and Gates King down on the ground. Dela! He did manage to go in here for a 1v2 clutch earlier on, but that was thanks to the XM8 now stepping outside of his side turner. Della serves it up hot as well. Headshot to Ray, down on the ground, and Della now buys the squad a tad bit more time. for that revival. Joker is still in here. R7 is not down and out just yet.
You gotta give him credits for the utilization of the time turner. Right now it lasts longer, it is more durable. You see the footwork, the bob and weave in and out to get the knock on Ture, but unfortunately for him it was a 2v1. EVOS getting 3 head start points just like that. R7 still in it, still very early on, but it's more like where do you pick, right? The place that they drop with the revive are all occupied. Plaza Ria by EVOS, Deca Square by Hotshot. The revive continue to come true, but as we talk about EVOS, Joker might make contact with AimGod.
Yeah, but the revival was already there, but now lost. Preying on the players of Fluxo. One after the other, they shut them down. And
No way.
Fluxo, one final survivor. Question on none of them at all. Down in the dumps. And lost showing who's boss very early on here at Nextera.
Bested them bested them locally and now besting them on the world stage. This is a catastrophe for Fluxo. They will have time to think about it because R7 Joker just found AimGod isolated on top of the roof. R7 clocks in their first point of this round.
Absolutely phenomenal here for R7 when it comes to the recovery play. Joker goes down, but he's already bought that lifeline for the rest of his team members. Games King now just chilling by a vending machine in case things do go south for the squad once again. But I don't think he's going to take on a full-on fight with the rest of the EVOS squad, who have to thank R7 for 4 free points. Now Hasu running out in the open. Hotshots, let's talk about them now, because Hotshots, this has been one of their most phenomenal appearance on the world stage. Pakistan might just make it through to the finals this time round.
All they need to do is to play the last 2 rounds, make it to top 3, top 4 if they can.
Yeah.
But the chances are slightly dwindling a little bit. Anas not able to get any collection, and he goes down. Hotshot left on the last legs, and unfortunately that's going to be Sajid RRQ hunting him down. This could be that terminus for Hotshot. This could be where they fall short once more.
Some back and forth off screen here between Dragons and Onyx. Onyx losing 3 players already. Dragon, it's a 1v1 between Onyx and Dragon. We need to check that out. CMOX down on the ground. And Dragons eliminated by Onyx Esports off screen. A tad bit unfortunate for the EMEA squad, but we were talking about how Onyx is lingering at the bottom of the leaderboard for performance today, and that is not a good spot for them to be. As they try to scratch and claw their way out of there, let's see if or not Alpha will be able to show us a tad bit of performance going up against RRQ.
And Alpha,
the M590 delivered.
And Alpha needs to deliver a couple points. They are in a very precarious position on the leaderboard. RRQ not only having to do with Alpha, they try to spread up, but Alpha has all the exits covered. 2 points for them.
Beautifully done. Yes, Onyx now slowly but surely revives their players one after the other. Alpha putting RRQ on the back foot, but it's not going to be a total shutdown just yet. 2 teams eliminated. Surprisingly, Fluxo one of them. But an early exit means nothing to a team that has picked up more than 100 points so far on the overall leaderboard from 2 days' performance. That should be enough to tip them over into point rush. But of course, we want to see more from the 2-time champions.
I personally think 120 is more than enough. It won't give you first place, but it will most likely guarantee you point rush unless the competition continues to deliver unexpected results, which we have seen over time, and it's still delivering. Multiple bodies dropped, multiple lives resurrected on that feed. Once more, Vitality now staring across the building. Core Memory sitting on the 2nd and 3rd floor.
Especially with the current meta where those revives are so much more possible with the coin machines littered all around the battlefield. You've got the Tiva combination in there as well for those instant pickups. And you just have so much of viability to go in for that huge reset. So we've seen some teams get massive points, and Nextera is one of those maps where you can really farm those elimination points. Thus far, EVOS as well as Lost have been onto it. 7 eliminations each as we spot out Della. What a player, man. This guy could just be the clutch god of this season.
Yeah, I think he has a very good chance of once more staking his name. I mean, we've seen him plenty of times. You know, Della, or Soy Della as you know him, regardless. Coming into this as well, I think if you are a team like Vitality or Core Memory, you are also looking to make a statement piece. We just saw someone from Hotshot getting knocked down, but Hotshot's survival run still continues. Not sure how good it's going to look though. BRU crossing paths with them, and Hasu is going to brush shoulders with Vitality once more.
Yeah, the circle definitely going to move towards the area of Farmtopia, Decker Square. And once again, great read by these pro players, moving in a tad bit earlier. But Buriram kind of playing it slow as usual, just kind of laying low on the outskirts here at Turbine. And of course, quick highlight as well. Russia, nobody has been able to rip away the #1 spot from this wonder kid, 16 years old, and absolutely solid with the way he plays his games out there.
He's definitely one of a kind. Every now and then we will get a prodigy, regardless of whatever region we're looking at. But these kids, these up-and-coming stars, they come in with such a big bang that it almost feels like a miracle every now and then. It's a seasonal thing. As Oscar breaks the glue wall, 18 Deer gets a run down, the 5th point for AF.
Yeah, valiant dash indeed. And of course, the sacrificial lamb right in front of him, Alpha 34. But of course, very easy to get that done when your opponent's just one guy and you've got the rest of your squad backing you up. Oscar is just a double-edged sword. But of course, we saw it on day #1, that mad bum rush into Factory where 4 players got knocked down to the ground. That was phenomenal. I want to see one more of that play from Oscar today, man.
Plenty of Oscars in this lobby, that is for sure. Hotshot really coming down to just pure survival instincts, the will to fight on, because they have not been able to get anything done. It's not of their own actions, it's just the unfortunate circumstances, the reality that they kept running into different teams.
Oh, beautiful.
And now rest onto the shoulders of Hasu. Does he take a gamble on this point? Seems like he will opt for the safer route. Museum is the next closest point with a vending machine.
It's a very interesting plan here by Hasu. He could have stuck the full squad revival here with that revival platform, but instead is choosing to pick up those coins and, like you said, head on over to Museum, find a vending machine to bring his squad back in here. We'll check in with Hotshots in a little bit. For the time being, though, this might just turn out to be utter chaos. Buriram, EVOS, core memory, all in a tight little spot, waiting for that next circle to approach them at Plazaria.
And not only that, off-screen Farmtopia was occupied by Onyx. They scanned out Vitality and they took the portal goal too. So that fight might break out between these two Indonesian rivals. Another revive spree for Hotshot. So they are going to be back in the game, but time is going to start ticking pretty fast. Nando 9 and Haone taking down the members of Alpha 34, a quad, and a 5th for Haone. He's just way too good. Basically locked in, and LOS lost 10 eliminations.
Oh, Raul with 5 eliminations so far. SVD in hand, unstoppable with that rate of fire and damage. Rigby rocking the same gun as well. They're going to be pretty deadly from those long-range shots. You definitely need those in Nextera because you've got a lot of these compounds where teams are going to be hiding away at, only peeking from that window, and you want to be ready to take those accurate shots straight to the head. So we know R7 is ready for that final circle play this time around. They've got the combinations of that M590 as well. Of course, once again, highlight to not one but 2 players from EVOS Esports, both Rasya and Ray dominating with the damage.
And this is going to be crunch time. And look at Hotshot's position once more, completely separated. Full revive finally completed. But they are going to come in basically naked with minimum to work with. So let's see if that willpower is going to get them through. Again, top 4 is the best position just for placement itself, but with where Sarji dropped, he's probably going to be fed instantly. Rasya picks up a freebie for himself, but it's nothing much that Hotshot can do.
Yeah, interesting move here by Hotshots. First of all, Hasu succeeds with the full squad revival off of the outer circle revival at Museum. 3 players back in here, and instead of dropping into one spot, which will be very dangerous, they have now spread out onto the battlefield looking for the placement points for the win here. I think Pakistan has got the right strategy. They just need to inch on forward game after game, not looking for the booyah. This is a smart play for Hotshots.
And this is the best course of action. Hasu even finding a vehicle to facilitate that rotation. He has finally escaped the blue just in time before the blue really starts to do some serious long-term damage. Portugal being dropped down by R7. This could be a big jump. They're going to take it right now on 3 of them. The transport will be completed on top of the roof. Vitality on one side and Onyx on the other.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to see some teams not forgetting the fact that the portal goal still exists. Yeah, a tad bit expensive, but the coin machines are littered everywhere on the battlefield. R7 making good use of that. A clear rotation round, finding the the roof, and now they are in prime position to play this next circle. But of course, when it shrinks a little bit more though, R7 is going to have a very, very big advantage here. So those are once again big brain plays from them. But up against two Indonesian squads, Onyx and Vitality, this is going to be difficult.
Vitality just spotted a Hasu. So he's going to be taken down. If you're action right now, I think Hasu needs to make the call action. Just stay still.
Yeah.
Don't even let them hear you breathe. It's you and Anas at this point. There's no more shot for any revival at this point, aside from feeding free points to the opponents. But thankfully, you have RQ who just joined Plaza Ria.
Yeah.
And this could be a distraction that Hotshot can utilize to get deeper into the run.
Absolutely, and that is the right assessment, because Hotshots at this point of time, if they get eliminated, they only walk away with one placement point. They gotta wait for a few other squads to drop out there first. Lost is helping them out by shutting down player after player from Alpha 34. The boys still hanging on for their dear lives. Next circle. Does R7 get the read accurately here, or does Buriram, Core Memory, and EVOS find the next circle? Neither one, as RRQ is the one that's flavored in a beautiful spot for the circle as well. You've got a little bit of a half and half with a decent compound to work with at Plaza Ria as well.
I would like to believe that RQ also scanned out the northern side, because that Dinoculus took a scan, pinged out 12 players. But the baton is going to be passed from action to Anas, who is the closest person to the circle at Plaza Ria. Another big scan. I think this one most likely is going to be by RQ, by Lost, because Anas was caught in the radar. 5 members being pinged instead of 4, and Lost has 13 eliminations.
I can't believe Anas is still shooting at players at this point of time, because Hotshots really just needs to stay calm and not show up on the map at all. Play those placement points, because we thought Alpha was about to get taken down, but they're hanging on for their dear lives here. R7 is still alive and kicking on the side of Alpha 34. And he finds action on top of everything else as well. Big play by Alpha, big play by R7.
Nothing much that he can do as Alpha 34 getting wiped out. It's all down to Anas. First to go down in the round, but now last to stand. Zarasia finds another knock. This one is a big hit onto Moshi. Lost stepping in again. BRU tasting the wrath of 2 different regions in a single go. R7 against Onyx. The glue wall will not stand for long. R7 starting to bombard the compound.
A fantastic glue wall erected here by Onyx, just bouncing off all of those grenades. R7 doesn't get to nick away a couple of extra lives here, and now they're out in the open, battling up against the circle. But EVOS out of the window, straight into the firing squad of Lost. Nando 9 taking good advantage with their high ground action. Hotshot out in 9, not enough placement points for them, but we'll have to see what they do in game number 6. In the meantime, EVOS desperately trying to break down the defenses they set up to go after Buriram.
And EVOS needs to take down Wasana. They need to eliminate this third party, an X factor that could turn it all around on his heels. Ray desperately trying to bring around the Rosie. Vitality trying to fight, and EVOS, they didn't want this to happen, but Vitality do not care. Wasana finds a second chance as those glue wall continues to be put up, but the blue zone is closing in. Vitality needs to break through.
Unbelievable stuff from Buriram. Wasana hanging on for his dear life, but unfortunately for him, it will come to an end as well. Ray finding him with the M590. R7 now outside the circle, but the zone moves straight towards them. This is going to be a huge advantage. They need to play with their glue walls well. Core Memory going to be keeping Vitality a tad bit busy now.
And Vitality have a very good shot of stopping a back-to-back for Core Memory and getting a second booyah for themselves in this knockout stage. Core Memory really stuck on the second floor. They need to jump off the ledge. The time turner will only buy so much time as Lost gets eliminated off screen. Core Memory now takes the fight to Vitality. Cougar with the Oscar dash finally makes it to the backline, turns around, but Koja is ready to accept the challenge. The interception for Vitality works out. Core Memory still allowed, but R7 now joins.
Yeah, R7 not waiting for Vitality to take the fight up against them. Gamescape dealing with the damage that the blue brings to the table, going in for the eliminations. Dawn desperately trying to find his recovery. R7 not giving them room at all. Food really low on their HP, has the Trogon in hand. More importantly, needs to top up his health. The circle gets the rest of the job done. Jump, unfortunately, is not going to be able to save his buddy. Has got that Superman in hand, and now Core Memory finds a little bit of space to recover.
What a rotation. The launch pad. Games King survives, but Joker gets picked up by Noki. The only Malaysian representative and the first ever Malaysian export. He gets traded back against King. It's not going to let that slide, but Onyx, they're still holding on pretty well with a compound to work with. Jump lays down the launch pad. Don is healing himself up, but maybe Jump needs to take this leap of faith. And Abai, he sees him, shoots him down right in the midair, and there's nothing left for core memory.
Yeah, just shooting them out of the skies. RRQ, sharpshooters indeed. Now two Indonesians stacking above each other, looking to take the heads of R7. Question is, will the Mexicans be able to oust whatever the Indonesians bring to the table? They're gonna allow them to do a little bit of damage to each other first before interfering in this fight. Either way, R7 will have to move first when that circle starts to close in 15 seconds.
They will have to make the first move, just like you said, proactiveness. Even if they don't want to, it will be forced through circumstances. Final siren blast. The Indonesians brace themselves for a final confrontation. It seems like Onyx not gonna wait. They take the fight straight to RRQ. Absolute madness, but RRQ able to hang on just by a little bit. Onyx not able to finish the job, but Adam, he's not going to relent. They pursue RRQ. Joker finds Scribe. R7, they have a dang good chance of cleaning up the scraps. The Indonesians infighting might have just given this round away. And R7 against RRQ.
Like shooting fish in a barrel, R7 taking advantage of the infighting between the Indonesians. And now Abe in a 1v3. How can he clutch this out? He's got the right gun. He's got the M590 going up against a Trogon and an M590 in the hands of Games King and Della. But R7 playing it smart, going in for the flank around. But one great big mistake. Can he continue in a 2v1? Abe only finds a knock, and R7 delivers their first booyah of the day.
And once more, a region that is very, very less mentioned puts themselves on the docket. R7 joins the list of teams that have gotten a booyah. And that is going to bring some attention not just to themselves but to the entirety of Group C. RRQ and Onyx, they had a shot, but Onyx got impatient. They took the fight to RRQ. They rolled the dice, but unfortunately, it was not a perfect 20. It was a horrendous number 1 roll. And RRQ Abai left to pick up the pieces. The Wonder Kid can only do so much for Indonesia.
Yeah, a couple of teams faltering a tad bit too early, and these are big names. Fluxo out with nothing in that round. Buriram only managed to pick up 4 points. This was a big game, and Movistar R7 proving exactly who the stars are out there. Mexico trying to make a name for themselves here, and they sure as hell are doing a good job at it.
I just gotta say, compared to 2024, compared to this 1 year ago, we already have a lot more unique teams getting a booyah, and that's just on the second day. Really speaks volumes of how this esports, this title has evolved over the years. The meta, the format changes. Movistar R7 once more. We said that they needed to make the first move.
Yes.
By circumstance alone, they are at a disadvantage. But the fates smiled upon them. Patience rewards those who wait. It's a virtue for Movistar R7.
Hey, Movistar R7 has most definitely been on the trajectory upwards. Last year in their local league, they got the 7th spot. This time, #1 within their own region, and of course to qualify for this competition and making everything work in their favor. But of course, we're going to take a quick short break. When we come back, you guys get the panel once again.
The human body was built to move, not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move. Breaking news.
Hola gente, soy Hax y le voy a preguntar al Joker, ¿cuál es tu arma favorita?
¿Mi arma favorita?
Sí.
La espada bulla.
We are getting so close to wrapping up here at Free Fire at EWC 25, and we have seen so many teams pick up booyahs today. It hasn't been a case of 1 to 2 teams dominating the leaderboard. It has been spread pretty evenly in the grouping so far for Group B and C. Gideon, I know you have a lot to talk about this. What is it just a case of everyone being equally skilled? Like, what's kind of happened today?
I think that is a very good point. It is the case of not only people being very skilled, but also adaptable strategies that can be templated again and again and again and evolving as the regular season goes on, coming into the international tournaments. I think for now, when we're looking at these match rankings, tell me, is it not clear that the East and West battle, everybody is looking for the top, not one side is lopsided or stronger than the other?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I love as well the difference in terms of points on those on the left-hand side. Like, it's not too much. It's not top heavy compared to what we've seen yesterday's game. So I guess this is where really, when you talk about skills, everyone is skilled in this fight. And thus, the booyah is being taken by different teams.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys, and I would like to add that I told you guys that this will happen. So R7, it's so capable, I mean, to go to the point rush, and some people normally, I mean, they usually think that LATAM teams, they are not strong enough, but R7, it's like the best team from LATAM so far, and they are so good. I'm so proud of them too, because, I don't know, I was kind of cheering for them. So yeah, it was such an amazing job.
Amazing job for them. Also, probably, I want to say maybe small factor, we had a bit of a mishap happening in that final circle. In particular, a certain boxing situation, which, okay, was that an accident, or do you guys feel like in the heat of the moment, it seemed like the right play to try and pick up your teammates, but then you know, you're kind of setting your team up to get picked off?
Well, I mean, let's look at these highlights, right? I think it's probably going to show up here pretty soon, sooner or later. But yes, Onyx, unfortunately, coming up a little short-handed. I would say yes, it is a little bit of a missight, because it's not a team effort's mistake. It is one person's mistake. They understood that potentially we could get surrounded, potentially we were going to get attacked, but by the time they noticed that R7 was actually on the ledge above, and unfortunately one of the members of RRQ who slipped away, which Onyx was the only one aware of it. R7 did not know that one of the members of RRQ had slipped away in the middle of that fight.
Yeah, he did try to fight towards the end, managed to go for the knock, but it's just a 1v4, so it's tough. But the reason why, I'm thinking, reason why Onyx Olympus boxed themselves in, because we're talking about Nextera. We do have a boxing gym right here, so...
I was kind of missing RRQ because they were kind of, I don't know, I feel that they just disappeared in a moment during the matches, but when they were in the global finals in Brazil, they were like really good, so I was kind of missing them, and they showed to us like a good game, but at least R7, sorry, just got the booyah.
I mean, R7, they deserve the booyah, especially when they made the right calls coming into that final circle. Unfortunately for the Indonesians, just falling a little bit too short this late into the tournament. Now, we are getting ready to jump into match number 6, and probably the most highly anticipated one on the panel, because yes, again, we are going to be going on to the new map, Solara. I want to start a discussion on this, because we did see the teams play on Solara yesterday. So we do... Okay, how do you feel this map is going to be for this matchup? Like, is it going to continue to be the X Factor map? Is maybe Group B going to have an advantage because they have actually played on that map yesterday? Because Group C haven't touched it yet. It's their first time playing on the map today.
I personally think that is going to be still rather chaotic overall. Luckily, Vitality is still playing, and they've shown that they've actually have some sort of a strategy. I haven't cracked the code on it just yet, but I'll get back to you guys when I do. Overall, the fights have been good, and I've noticed first 3 maps, pretty chill. First page, only a couple of teams will have double-digit numbers. Next 3 maps, we're seeing that, keep in mind, that very first page on the left side, when you see those rankings, double digits all the way through.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for this map specifically for Solara, yesterday Team Vitality, the team who dubbed themselves King of Solara, has been denied, and none of the teams from yesterday, like coming into here, have grabbed a booyah in this map. But still, Team Vitality is on the top when we look at Group B and C. So I guess they would want to get that booyah and just put themselves up on the leaderboard.
Yeah, but there's also the thing, right? Is Vitality maybe setting themselves up to be sniped, right? Like if you call yourself king, someone's going to challenge that crown.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be like a Fluxo maybe, because I think they need to do like a good match right now, because two top 12, it's not what like the crowd in Brazil are kind of expecting. So it's not the result that we are used to see from Fluxo. So I hope it can be Fluxo maybe.
So we do have the overall rankings on the screen for you folks at home, and this is just a bit of a status update. Okay, now keep in mind a lot of the teams towards the up end of the bracket, they are probably going to be Group B because they have played 2 days worth of matches. So do not panic if you are cheering for teams in Group A and C. They still have one more round tomorrow, but there are a couple teams in the danger zone, I believe. I've got Neptune here checking out the numbers just to double check, but at the moment for Group B, who is at risk of being knocked down?
Well, Alpha 34, definitely out of all the teams from Group B mixed up with Group C, there's the ones like odd one out. Very close. 12 teams right now, and it's tough to call if they will be able to catch up. They're like second to the bottom. So
essentially, they need to booyah, is what you're saying.
I don't know if they'll be able to do it with just one booyah, because we were expecting at least 130 to keep yourself safe, and they're not there just yet.
Well, unfortunately, there's just not enough points to go around, so we'll have to let the teams fight it out and decide who is going to end the day with our last bag of points. But it looks like we're ready to jump into Solara, folks, so throwing it over to our casters right now. Husky and AJ, take it away for our final match of the night.
Thank you, Danny. Alpha 34 in trouble indeed, Mr. Neptune. They are down in the dumps at this point of time. 56 points in total. One final opportunity for this Brazilian squad to put a good amount of points up there on the leaderboard to stay in the game, to make it to Point Rush as well as the grand finals. But another team from Group B, Husky, you and I were just talking about them, Hot Shots, 85 points so far. They need a minimum of 15. 100 points is the benchmark we've got for these boys to make it through to the finals.
Neptune said that 130 is the safest spot, but for Hot Shot, I think 100.
Yeah, man.
And then you leave it up to the stars or the constellation or whatever you believe in out there. You know, if you're born in the rising sun, maybe.
Or believe in themselves?
Believe in themselves. Like, I'm pretty sure the Pakistani fans have been really riling up the chat. The damn Red Hawks, you know, these passionate fans seeing their teams play, even though they are going up against the odds.
Fluxo versus Dragons Esports. EMEA's going for the big ones at the very get-go, and Fluxo has not been having a great day here.
Come on.
40 points out of 5 games. This has been one of their weaker days, but of course, Fluxo has always done this. They always try to trick people into thinking that they're not top performers, only to grab the championship by the end of the day. But of course, EMEA is out there to impress, and they desperately need some points. But I don't know if Fluxo's the right team to be hitting down on, and Butches in shows C-Mogs. They're definitely not the right ones.
It's important for Fluxo to recover, right? They got 2 rounds in a row they got nothing. But in this case, Alpha 34, they are here to play spoilers. Because realistically, Alpha 34 is not going to make it unless they break a world record in this round. But for Hot Shot, the conditions are so much easier, and this is going to decide all of it. And Saji is the first one to go down. Action needs to back up his team, but there is going to be a different member from behind. And he's Senshi from behind to backstab Hot Shot. This could be the end of the run for the Pakistani squad. Alpha 34 about to ruin a fairy tale for Hot Shot Esports, and they certainly have done it. Hot Shot Esports left with just Hasu and Action.
Alpha not out of the deep end of the waters just yet. Just when you thought they were going to get wiped out, Luan gets revived back in here. It's a 2v2. It's a fair game so far. And on that revival, Luan is flying far, far away. It's a 2v2. Hotshots can still get this done. And how beautiful, how poetic that the two teams we highlighted that desperately need some points will meet at the very first start here. Anas on the pickup, but R7 puts an end to that run. And Hotshots, how unfortunate at the get-go here, the first squad to get eliminated.
R7, AF, Alpha 34, they knew that they couldn't make it, and they drag Hotshot down right into oblivion with them. What a heartbreaking way to go to end that run. But again, commendable effort from Hotshot throughout the entire league. Pakistani, we will remember you. And they've definitely left an impression, but here we go. Continuing the story, the bout between Dragons Esports and Fluxo is not done just yet, but Remind is going to be done in by Bobs as he goes down.
Yep, Dragons are most definitely going to be reminded you do not mess with Fluxo. The Brazilians may seem like they're having a bad day, but they're just hanging back, chilling as usual. Lost, on the other hand, coming across one of the most dangerous Indonesian squads out there, and the focus is going to be on that recovery, picking up their team members. RRQ, Dudes pulling in those revives in the nick of time to keep the squad still in play.
Might be another clash on screen between BRU and Evos 2, right? It's the northern side of Studio. Obviously, in this case, we see the ping, a Dinoculus. It could be from Evos or R7, but I'm willing to bet it's R7 that got the scan onto BRU. If Evo sees this coming, yeah, they're gonna just back off. We see them, R7, about to engage with BRU. Moshi takes contact, almost goes down. Double glue wall to block off the engage, but Hacks and Games King finds one for themselves. Get high, gets a response to the Games King, but unfortunately for R7, BRU is not here to go down without a fight. 2 versus 2. Evos now joins in. Joker takes a hit. Get High gets knocked down. Joker fights Aim God. He gets traded by Rasia. Della finishes off Get High. Both R7 and BRU are crippled.
A surprising three-way battle here. R7 jumping on and into a fight where they most definitely did not want to look for more out of. And a 2v1 now. Della, Clutch God, can he walk away with something? Aim God himself says, hell no, Mustachio. We're here to play, and he had the meta gun M590 in his hands. And R7 just slowed down a tad bit here. It's not the end for the Movistar squad just yet. We'll see more from them in a little bit, but EVOS back to their high-scoring ways.
And BRU, Wasana able to slip away into the shadows just now. In the midst of all the chaos, bringing Moshi back into the fray, keeping BRU alive in this run. We've lost 2 teams pretty early on. Hotshot Esports and R7 no longer part of the equation, but at least R7, at least for R7, they still have a chance tomorrow. 6 more rounds to work with. Vitality and Core Memory though, this is their last.
Pakistan, I know they're deeply disappointed that Hotshot Esports got eliminated too early here, but a little bit of a fun fact. Last year at EWC 24, Hotshots, they managed to walk away with 80 points. This time they did slightly better, 87 points. But is that going to be enough to keep them in the top 12? We will see tomorrow as Group B takes on Group C. This is the final game here for Group B. Group A takes on Group C tomorrow. The final game here for Group B, and unfortunately for Hotshots, their run comes to a tad bit of a premature end. And like you said, man, it's all up to the stars or whatever the fans believe in at this point of time to keep the squad in.
It's definitely one of those stories that it left an impression a lot more compared to last year, but almost a safe ending. Just 1-7 runs down Ma'al. Again, RRQ just not having the start that they want. Early on, we see Abai getting taken down, getting brought back, and now Ma'al is the victim. And for Alpha 34, they know it's all for the marbles. They have nothing to lose. If what it takes to qualify is to break a world record, they might as well hell do it right now.
Absolutely, and this is the fire that we are talking about, right? Alpha 34 understanding exactly what is required, and they start things off hot. And as the stars aligned for them, they came across Hotshots who were vying for that spot with them as well. And they will find more players off of RRQ. One straggler, 18 Deer. The Drogon doesn't get to save him, as Luan finds him with the M590 yet again. The next circle, though, is going to be key for the reposition for a majority of the squads here, especially Lost, who may just come across Onyx, who wants to rotate far in towards that circle as well.
And with the circle closing in towards TV Tower, I think Alpha 34 instead makes a rotation. Early on, they scan out where RRQ members are at, but Alpha 34, they want more. Let's see if that greed pays off. One of 7 deadly sins is going to lead them straight into Vitality and Core Memory.
Yeah, Alpha 34, initially their rotations were solid, but now into troubled waters. We'll have to catch up with them in a bit. Outside the circle, we do spot the players of EVOS just chilling around, looking for that loop. Circle 2 doesn't hurt just yet, but in 20 seconds, Circle 3, that's where trouble will come. And this light rail is gonna bring EVOS directly to Buriram. This does not seem like a fun pathing for the Indonesian squad.
I think you stop here, you rotate southbound. There is a vending machine to work with to stock up before you hit south again to Bloomtown. That is the optimal one, considering what we can see. But for the teams, let's see if they can make that educated guess. It is once more a dice roll in this case. They dropped the binoculars. EVOS actually scanned out where BRU are, all 4 members of BRU at Archway. So this could give them the confirmation that they need to go southbound, unless EVOS feels a bit peckish and they want to take on a different squad.
Well, if they want a snack, you know exactly where to find that. And Solara is not one of the newest map out there. Not many teams have found full-on dominance here. Vitality calls themselves the kings of Solara. And in Southeast Asia, they most definitely have proven time and time again their capability to find dominance on this map. But thus far, no points on their side. Does not mean that they're not going to dominate this just yet, because they've been out of trouble, out of this competition. No glue walls, no medkits have been wasted so far, but they are in very, very close quarters here up against Core Memory, who's at the top of the leaderboard and perhaps a little bit hungry for those points, because this is their last game as well.
My heart stopped for Fluxo. They took so long to rotate. This could cost them big time. And I think it's fair for us to, for me to at least say this, right? It's the last round of the knockout stage. They most likely will qualify. With Raja, if you're listening, I gotta say, Fluxo, they have been a bit sloppy on this rotation. They're taking a bit too much of their sweet time. And a lot of times we see Fluxo, they make the rotation sure, but they lose like 60% of their health bar. Yeah. They have to be a bit more efficient with those moves. And thankfully this time there was no team to really mess up that movement. So they make it through. They get a good binocular scan. They get a good compound to work with just a little bit. But if we make it through to point rush and Fluxo pulls this off, it is going to really bite them in the back.
What's crazy is the lowest bar that we had set was 100 points here. And they started off this game with 101. They've picked up 4 points now. They're sitting at 105. This is still a very risky zone for Fluxo. Can you imagine a world where they do not make it to point rush? That would be absolutely insane. And perhaps Dragons Esports could have a round 2 with Fluxo to stop them, perhaps gatekeep them as well. But this is going to be a crazy circle to enter, because whatever compound that is available for defense has already been occupied. You only have to deal with the outer ranges, which is just wide open range, where you will have to use up a lot of your glue walls very early on. Fluxo is in a ton of trouble, and Loss, I believe, is about to come across them as well.
And I just like that you brought up Lost, because this has been the kryptonite of Fluxo.
Yes.
Beat them in the domestic league, and right now might be the team to snuff them out once more. And I think Fluxo knows this. They saw 4 hostiles across the horizon and lost.
They won it.
They're gonna take the fight. Here they go. Are they gonna make the call right now?
They send in Rigby first.
Top 3 rushes. Here we go. Electrotherapy. We see that from the Cassie. And
straight in.
Following out to Fluxo. The Riptide Rhythm just for cautionary purposes. The glue was put up. This is such great movement from Lost. They're trying to corral Fluxo, and now Lost finds a good spot. How are they again from above? Takes down GU.
Great plays with the RGS 50 and the LMG as well. Round 1 will wreck the opportunity of Fluxo. GU desperately trying to hold on here. 105 points. Is this going to be enough for Fluxo to hang on? Hanaround picked up once again. And Fluxo, on the other hand, having the floor wiped with them. Could this be the end of the Brazilian champions?
Once more, the campeonas, La Campeonas of Brazil, Lost, showing what they are made of. Numero 1 in the region, kryptonite of Fluxo, and a heroic play from Haone to set things up for the squad. Really showing that Vamos mindset from the region. Just sheer cold-blooded engagement. Fluxo, like you said, AJ, they are in the red zone after this round.
Dude, I did not expect Fluxo to be in the red zone. Never would I have ever thought this is what we see out of your two-time world champs. No aggression. I thought they were hanging back, but perhaps they played with fire a tad bit too much. Now they need to depend on Lady Luck. They need to count on the stars in the sky and wait for them to align. But I don't know if the universe will abide by what they want. But the circle is just teasing everyone at this point. It just goes straight directly towards Lost. And Lost has got the time in the world, all the time in the world, to play this recovery and wait for everybody else to approach them in the open grounds.
The one team that can stop them is Onyx, and Onyx are not going to wait. We saw Onyx in the previous round, they got impatient, that's why R7 walked away, but this time it could be different as R7, FE Sechi from the side of AF, the different R7, runs into BRU, still bleeding out, and he can pick back out very quickly, has the blue to deal with. Evo's also around the corner, 3 different teams, BRU looking to run away, Ray wants to take down that member, but somehow couldn't land enough shots. Evo's now guards the perimeter of this compound. They have a good chance to pick up a couple of stragglers across the horizon. RRQ now is going to show up on the radar as while Sana takes out Liz, is about to get messy.
Absolutely, R7 down on the ground, bleeding out. Alpha desperately needs those solid points. Whatever they can put on the table, they most desperately need it for themselves. But Evos with the brilliant reposition on the jump pad, turning around, and Rasia of all players finding that long shot. And the first grenade elimination 13 minutes into the map is insane, but we see it out of Evos.
I believe that Onyx just got wiped out. Alpha 34 as well. The story finally has this final chapter penned. A full stop for this squad, the underdogs of the Brazilian region. Joining Fluxo out in the lobby. Kochu, just a point blank grenade launcher into 18 Deer's face. He's a deer in the headlights. Another elimination, 11 points for Evos as they continue to run into the safe zone, but they're getting shot at by Jonah. They're getting shot at by RRQ. They're getting shot at by Vitality.
Onyx. Unfortunate for them this time around, they don't get to put on more points on the leaderboard. They'll have to wait for tomorrow. Thankfully, they are in Group C. But Vitality, on the other hand, the ones that call themselves the Kings of Solara, finding a couple of points out there, getting those knocks, those crucial ones on top of everything else, looking for that high ground, but that should not be where you go because the circle will not be in your favor. Core Memory fighting their backs, a couple of glue walls that they erect, blocking out their shots as well, and that will play against them as Koja lobs in a phenomenal god nade.
Good exchange from Cougar to take him out as Koja now turns his attention over to Evos. Kyung now joins the fray. Core Memory, they've laid low the entire game just to cash in on this moment, but it seems like it's not paying off so far. Rip Tyrant for Kochu to try and expose Vitality, but they have enough resources to stay alive as Jump ends the lifeline of Evos. Kochu gets knocked out in 6th place. Jump now turns over to Koja, but here comes the full rush from Vitality. Faiz on the red. Jump could not finish the job. Koja once more pulls through in the end as Lost shows himself on the kill feed. Cougar goes down. It's down to 2 for Core Memory.
Vitality now dealing with the circle as well, but Lost taking advantage from the opposite side of the battlefield. Long range shots, and as anticipated, the circle going to move on to the flatter lower grounds. Koja with a mad rotation here, right outside the circle, has to absorb some damage from the blue, straight into the vehicle, but that was an insane play as Hawan puts him out of the race. Vitality eliminated in 5th.
Desperation move from the side of Vitality. 5th place is all they have. The jump pad left behind by the remnants of an opponent. Seafox finally shows his face. But Rigby picks up that kill, a stolen point. Dragon Esports, they make their move as well. He's dead against Lost, taking the fight straight towards the Brazilian Kings. There's Core Memory out in 4th. There's only 2 full squads left. Unfortunately, for the side of General, he gets knocked down. Bet MT60 joins in and takes out the rest of Dragon Esports. They'll clean up the remnants of this. And unfortunately for Dragon, there's just not enough for them to stand toe-to-toe with Lost. And it's only RRQ with the last remnants of the members on the map. And there's nothing that Ma'au can do. Lost gets the booyah, and Lost once more proves why they are the Kings of Brazil.
No Fluxo, no problem, baby. Your #1 squad out of the Brazilian League is here to play and here to dominate. What a massive game out of Lost. 21 eliminations strong. And there ain't nobody out there who can keep up with the pressure that they are bringing on to right now. Falcons are gonna have their hands full tomorrow with this team.
Flashbacks from last year when some of them were still with Netshoes minus GG. They almost made that Cinderella story happen. Not in the group stage, but in the grand finals. 2 back-to-back Booyahs in round 4 and 5, only to fall in the Falcons' nest in round number 6. But then you look back, and now you look at some of them who survived the purge, who became members of Lost, winning domestically over Fluxo by a hair's inch, and right now might just have been the Grim Reaper and the executioner for one of the best teams in the world, a 2-time world champion Fluxo. Lost has put themselves in a powerful spot.
They definitely have seen EWC 24, Hanaral Nano 9, Ra 1, under minus GG, and they were the squad that stole everybody's hearts. They shocked the world with their performance. They were the underdogs for sure out of Brazil. Nobody expected them to make big plays, but big plays they sure as hell made. But now as Lost, they have found their way and they are looking for sheer dominance. Last year it could have been the Falcons. Last year Thailand reigned supreme. This time Brazil looking to make quite a bit of noise out there.
And what a poetic way to say it as well. Previously Los Grandes, literally translates to the big brother, the big team, and the big challenger, all the way from Brazil onto the Esports World Cup stage. And if there's one way for them to make everyone remember, and it's not through their name, it's through that gameplay.
Absolutely, man. I mean, some solid, phenomenal action out there, and it wasn't as if they were tiptoeing around the circle, and they were not looking for fights at the same time. Whatever came their way, they made the best of it, and the first thing they made best of was finding Fluxo out in the open. Not only do they put a stop to them, they also increase their chances of dominating Point Rush as well as Grand Finals, because who knows them better than Fluxo? Who can probably put a stop to them and their rotations other than Fluxo? They are looking to take out one of their biggest threats out there, and as luck would just have it out here on the Solara map, they would encounter each other so early on, and Fluxo didn't manage to pull away those solid points. A huge miss for Fluxo, a phenomenal gain for Lost, and they just continue to pummel down squad after squad. We've got the interview on stage with a player of Lost. Let's head on over to Yunso. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Welcome to the Amazon post-match interview. I'm Carol Bombshell, and we just finished the last match for the knockout stage, especially for Group B that won't play tomorrow anymore. And that's why we have to have a word with Fluxo team, and I'm here with Bobs, the team captain. Let's talk to him about the today performance for Fluxo. For sure, today was not your best day, and you guys have 2 top 12 finishers and a lot of ups and downs. Is there any specific reason to explain this performance today? Com certeza vocês não tiveram o melhor dia de vocês, tiveram muitos altos e baixos. Tem alguma razão para explicar sobre o que aconteceu hoje?
Na verdade, não sei muito o que falar, né? Jogamos muito mal ontem, jogamos muito mal hoje. Nesse campeonato não sei o que acontece, nós não conseguimos nos performar bem. E se passar vai ser... Querendo ou não, vai ser sorte, mas se passar, vamos dar tudo na final, rever os nossos erros e ir bem na final, que é o nosso objetivo, ser campeão. Sonhamos com esse campeonato todos os dias, desde o ano passado. Não paramos um minuto de pensar nele sequer, mas infelizmente ocorreu como ocorreu hoje e também ontem. Não foi o nosso melhor dia e foi uma atuação bem abaixo da nossa, então é isso.
There's not much to say. We know that this tournament is really important to us, but we did our best. Yesterday also was not our best day, our best performance, but we dream about AWC every day. And right now, if we go to the next stage, to the Point Rush and make to the finals, for sure we're gonna try to see what was our mistakes, and we'll for sure get better to play at the grand finals. And for our last question is about Los. Your fight against Los was definitely one of the toughest moments for you guys today. Do you think they have figured out what was your play style and now they know how to knock you down and take you out of the competition? Com certeza, as partidas contra Los foi dos momentos mais altos do dia hoje. Eles também são um time brasileiro. Vocês acham que eles já sabem o estilo de jogo de vocês e é por isso que eles sabem como tirar vocês das partidas? Eles estudaram vocês?
Eu acho que todos os times estudam nós somos atuais campeões do mundo no FFWS, então todos os times chegam a estudar, mas sobre a lousa eu acho que foi pura coincidência, não tem como saber se era nós, então eles apenas estavam jogando o jogo deles e acabou que trombamos com eles duas vezes morremos, infelizmente, então é mais desmérito nosso.
Alright, good answer. Yes, for sure, Los, they know how we play, but most of teams here know how we play. We are the reigning champions of Free Fire World Global, and most of them know how right now we just need to focus on ourselves right now and pray that we are going to advance to the next phase. Guys, today we have watched some high-level Free Fire action here, and I am more than happy to be here with you all. And right now, I'm more than happy to send to this next lady. They're gonna talk to you. They're gonna to do an interview. Yusu, it's all the stage. It's all yours.
Hi everyone, that's our Carol Bombshell, and this is our little conversations with Evos. Hi Evos.
Hello.
Hi Ray. Okay, so this is our second day and also our last competition day, right?
Yep.
So you satisfied with the match today? How's everything's going?
Jadi hari ini kamu merasa puas gak dengan total poin di 2 hari?
Nggak terlalu puas lah, karena kita masih banyak mistake yang kita lakuin.
He's not satisfied enough because there's so many mistakes that we did.
Oh yeah, but many mistakes, but you guys already make it to the point rush and the final stage, so I think you guys still have plenty of times to practice, so it's okay. Did a very good job already.
Thank
you. So our second questions, since you guys have a very good sniper, Rasya. So do you think that he make a huge difference in your team? And do you think that with Rasya, you guys can become the champion of AWC 2025?
Menurut kamu, sekarang kan di tim kita ada Rasya. Terus menurut kamu Rasya membuat impact yang sangat besar nggak di tim kita? Dan menurut kamu kita bisa dapat menang nggak di EWC 2025?
Menurutku datangnya Rasya impactnya besar lah ke tim, karena di tim kita tuh nggak ada support kemarin. Karena dia masuk, mungkin tim kita bisa jadi lebih baik.
Okay, so on the last year, we got no support at all. Then Rasya make a big impact for our team, so it really helpful for us.
So are you confident enough that you guys will become the champion of AWC 2025?
Kamu pede nggak kita bisa bakal menang EWC 2025?
Pede 100%.
So he said that we're 100% confident.
I love the energy. That is 100% come from Evos. Thank you so much. And now I hope you guys can have a good rest at home and get prepared for the point rush and of course the final stage. Okay, good luck to you, Ray.
Thank you.
Let's throw back to our studio. Bye-bye.
Love you.
Thank you, Yunsol. Thank you, Carol, for the interviews. And I am glad we got to hear some final words from Fluxo and Evos, because these two teams, they're done for the tournament and they basically have to wait to see where they end up on that leaderboard after tomorrow's matches. Because if you guys didn't know, Group B, they've played all of their games. And I mean, I think the team said it right. It's not too much of a stretch to say they're not really happy with their performance the past 2 days.
Yeah, I can feel a contrast on both, like energy from both teams or representative, like Bob's really sad. He's feeling like they could have done so much in those matches. For Evo Divine, yeah, they're saying that there's a lot of mistakes, but currently they're number 1. So I doubt that they will be doing so much of adjustment. It's only a minor adjustment that they can be champs.
I think at the very least, looking at their performance and looking at, as you mentioned, their energy, they probably wanted to do better. But keep in mind that these teams have been scrimming against each other pretty much every single day, right? They have 4 scrims back at their hotel and then 2 scrims here for not only our production team to make sure that everything goes smoothly, but just to kind of be accommodating and enjoy the little space. That's why it feels that even for Fluxo saying they know our playstyle, when you've got 6 scrims, 12 games on top of the extra 6 official games, they played a multitude of matches against everybody in the arena.
Well, I think for Evos, it's just okay, because yesterday they did like a stable game. But for Fluxo, it's going to be really hard to maybe pass through this knockout stage and get into the point rush. So they need to pray to see how the teams will do yesterday, which I think is not like a good thing to do, because today probably will be, I mean, easier because of the group, you know. So I think they are kind of worried about that too.
Well, let's see how much we have to worry as we check out the overall rankings for today's matches, because we need to figure out where everyone currently is. Now, again, I'm going to remind you all, teams in Group B, they have finished all of their games and their points are going to look a little inflated compared to the other groups because they have played 2 days of Free Fire. Group A and C will be catching up with their final matches tomorrow, and that is going to be the end of the knockout stage. Now, Neptune, the man, the master of numbers, okay? Just looking at the leaderboard, and I want you to focus on teams in Group B. What do you think, in your opinion, based on the prediction, is going to be a safe number to cut you into top 12?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at 130, 135, around that range to be able to maintain your spot on the top 12. So there's a lot already from those in Group B that haven't made that cut. Well, we mentioned about Alpha 34 is already 68 points. We also have Fluxo like 106, unless the other teams from the next day would not be performing that well. Yes, they might be able to take that, but I'm just surprised with Lost right now. Imagine, for one day it's 102 points and they just didn't slow down.
They didn't slow down, they looked great, and they continue to look great. And I think, they're showing off that they deserve to be champions of the region, right? People are thinking, oh, is LOS really that good? Did they get lucky when they ended up winning their matches and even the Brazil finals? But I think it goes to show, just seeing their matches over the course of this week, they deserve everything that they've gotten.
Yeah, we can even say that they don't deserve, right after they did like a match with 18 eliminations, something like that. It was a bunch of eliminations, so they are really capable of getting the trophy for them, and they have like one of the best rusher player. So I think this kind of helped them, and they are really confident, so they will keep like playing like that, and they maybe can get really the trophy. And we normally see like Buriram like playing in this way, but I don't know if they are kind of hiding the game. I don't know, but Luz is showing to us that they can win the tournament.
Okay, Gideon, Neptune. I'm of the opinion, I feel like Buriram are hiding strats. Like, yes, okay, they don't look amazing today, but it almost feels intentional. Like they're trying to take that target off of their back because, we all know, anyone that follows Free Fire, Buriram is a household name. Everybody knows every single player within the roster. So is that the play here for Buriram, maybe?
I think that may be the play, but I also think there's not enough incentive for Buriram to do extremely well. Because why is there, right? It's just a knockout stage. We all know that Buriram is like really good in every single knockout stage you've ever been in. This is the one exception. But being first doesn't mean that you get an advantage coming into the point rush, or assuming that they beat the point rush, which I'm hoping that's when we're going to see the real Buriram.
Yeah, exactly. At some point, there's no pressure for the teams who are really performing. Top 12 is the target for everyone. And for Brave United, I know we joked around, dubbed them as a knockout stage kings or knockout kings, and then dropped the ball towards the grand finals. So they just don't want to show all the cards just yet. And then later on, when it really matters, the incentive is much bigger, and then that's when they show up.
So they're essentially breaking the curse, right? The old curse of Free Fire. You do well in the knockouts, and then all of a sudden everyone knocks you out in the finals.
There are like moments of that, right? We see that a couple of games they're able to score 30 points, 30 whopping points in 2 maps alone to kind of really accumulate it, which goes to show that it's not like they want to get eliminated or anything. They just understand the thresholds that they need to hit. Neptune has already mentioned 120 points is generally a pretty safe area. So notice how they're like roughly around 60. I'm assuming they want another 60 tomorrow.
They've got a full play day. Now, here's the thing. They are going to be playing up against teams in Group A. And Group A added an interesting dynamic yesterday. So what could we expect for our matches tomorrow? Because we're going to bring the Falcons back in, and the Falcons looked fantastic yesterday.
I think... I want to say like they're going to come out of the gate swinging here, right? They're going to just be punching back and forth. But I think Group A, after day number 1, they've kind of witnessed what Group B had to deal with. They're going to understand what Group C is going to try and do. There's probably a target on LOS's back. Let's be real here. They've had some really good games. I think they're going to take it a lot slower, right? Falcons, especially seeing how EVOS Divine got maybe targeted to a certain degree. More importantly, their landing spots got contested. We're just going to see them kind of maybe diversify.
Yeah, I mean, Team Falcons, they just rocked that first match from yesterday. And then they slowed down, not really putting so much in terms of elimination. And they got the 98 points from that day. Now, being beat by, I would say, some teams like Lost, I think because of the number of games as well as the gap between the points, they want to bring a lot more for tomorrow. So I'm feeling that aggressiveness will be coming from Team Falcons, but they're not the careless, aggressive team. They're still tactical. So it would be tough for the teams who will be playing for today, even for Borneo United, who tried to lay low today, because tomorrow they might still be gunned down.
Yeah, you can't afford to lay low. A little too low, if I might add. Now, I do believe our Kadir top plays for the day are ready. So let's have a look and see what were our highlight matches that you need to go back and watch, because we do have several of these, and just look at these shots. Holy moly, Gideon.
I think we've seen some of the tightest angles because we're noticing that, you know, teams are really taking advantage of, like, hey, small little corners, making sure that they can see, even if the tip of their head or even if they're just their shoulders enough, sometimes they won't even take the shot. They'll wait until they start seeing ears before they pull the trigger.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for the snipers, especially in this level of competition, they just wait for that pixel and then they make those shots. And I love how the teams as well are not just utilizing the snipers, but also the cord on LMG. So much damage, great accuracy. Fire rate, it's like a sniper, but it's much stronger.
And just going off the highlights as well, gentlemen, I kind of feel like this year's EWC teams are, of course, we are still seeing highlight plays, but we're not seeing anything crazy, right? We're not seeing those monster trucks saving the day for teams in the final circles. We're not seeing medkit wars between teams either. So I kind of wonder, is everyone playing a little bit slightly safer? No unconventional strats, because they're trying to stay in the tournament.
There's one, though. That attempt of an unconventional gameplay. 18 tier trying to go in for another clutch. That is where we known him from last year. The 1v3 clutch king. That is what 18 tier has. And that probably is the reason why he got acquired by RRQ. But he tried earlier. It failed, if I'm not mistaken, twice.
Yeah. Now, sorry there, Gideon. We have to highlight a very important player here at the tournament. We have our Sony hero of the day. Let's see who ended up getting nominated. Oh boy, our MVP is Della.
Well, I'm really happy to see like a Latam player, and I told you guys this might going to happen today. And I mean, he's really good. All the players from the team, they have like such a chemistry, synergy. So it's really good to see like Latam growing in like global tournaments, just like EWC. So I'm really impressed about it, and I think all of the players there are kind of rising star, you know, they are like growing, and I found that so interesting.
Raja, I want to ask you something about the region in general, right? You are a specialist of Latam, Brazil. Do you feel like the region is just getting better and